Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. And the reason for my visit here, you can see the sign behind me, the Cumberland Valley Rail Trail. We're here to visit the Conrail Museum that is stationed here at the same location as the Cumberland Valley Rail Trail. So let's go check it out. So out here in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania at the Cumberland Valley Rail Trail, there's actually two pieces of equipment. And so first one, we're going to look behind us, is an old Penn Central boxcar. Now look how cool this is. Penn Central double door boxcar. Nice to see this here. So cool. And you'll look over here, you have the friction bearing trucks, and these caps here would flip over so you could pack them with grease. So cool. Alright, so let's check out the second piece that's here, the main reason why we're here in the first place. So behind me is the Conrail Museum boxcar. So there's actually a museum inside this very large boxcar we're going to take a look at here in a minute. So excited to be here today. Again, at the Cumberland Valley Rail Trail, Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. If you're ever in the area, stop by and check it out. It's cool. So let's look at the boxcar. Alright, so what we have is a Conrail 86-foot high cube boxcar, originally used for auto parts back in the day. Some of these were 4 doors and some of these were 8 doors. My understanding, the 8-door versions were converted by CSX, most of them, to just 4 doors. But very cool boxcar. And I think, Lionel needs to make this an O gauge the next time they do the 86-foot high cube boxcars again. So this particular piece, after the split of Conrail, went to CSX. CSX was getting ready to retire this. The Conrail Historical Society reached out to them, and CSX actually donated this to the Conrail Historical Society, and they decided to turn it into a museum. So we're going to check that out. Lionel has made the 86-foot high cube boxcar in O gauge, for those who did not know. Also, not sure if it's still there, but there's also one at the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania, which actually is a Conrail quality 86-foot high cube boxcar. So let's check this out. So the high cube boxcars had this warning label on them, this car excessive height, and that was to prevent them from going down tracks that had low bridges. They also had the white marking at the top of them. This was so it could be seen by the towers in the switchyard, so that they knew it was an excessive height car. This, you'll notice, has the rotating wheel bearing caps on it, so this actually is not friction bearing truck. There you go. Sometimes you'll see them blue, and if they were just replaced, that's most of the reason why. But blue wheel bearing, rotating wheel bearing caps is actually a specific manufacturer, I believe called Brenco, makes the blue wheel bearing caps for the rail cars. There you go. Now this looks to be originally a four-door car, but the way they were building them, it would be hard to tell. This thing is just massive. Now, if you remember my videos on my reviews of the model versions of Conrail stuff that I buy, Conrail always used model designations on their rail equipment, and this one will be no different. So just like anything else I reviewed, so the model designation of this particular series of cars is X67. Alright, so let's check out the inside of this. I can't wait to check out the museum part. There's one other thing I noticed about this. I just noticed, hold on here. Ownership subject to documents filled with the log. PC 295633. I wonder if this is originally belonged to Penn Central. Alright, so we're on the rail trail walking towards the Conrail Museum here in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Here we go.
On your left.
Bet some of you guys didn't realize there was a Conrail Museum. Cumberland Valley Railroad Museum. Here we go. This Class X67 boxcar was built in April 1970. Yep. By the Penn Central Transportation Company. So there's my question answered. It was built to haul automobile parts. It was transferred to Conrail in 1976. Continued service with CSX until 2020. Conrail boxcar number 243880 was one of 154 X67 class boxcars built at Penn Central's Samuel Reed shops in Hollidaysburg, the same place that the 857B boxcar was built. So there you go. On April 1st, 1976, this boxcar became Conrail number 295633, although records indicate that it wore Penn Central paint for another decade. In the late 80s, the car was renumbered and repainted as Conrail number 243880. The car was actually assigned to Chrysler stamping plant at Twinsburg, Ohio in August of 1995. Conrail itself purchased and split up between Norfolk Southern and CSX on June 1st, 1999. This car was conveyed to CSX and re-stenciled as New York Central number 243880 and assigned to auto part service for General Motors out of Parma, Ohio. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, anything that was Conrail that went to CSX got the basically the letters changed from CR to NYC. So over here, the CR would have been patched out and NYC put in there. So those are your reporting marks. So that's what CSX did, because Norfolk Southern was the one that was able to retain the original CR reporting marks. CSX used the NYC reporting marks for ex-Conrail equipment. Alright, so let's check out the Conrail Museum here in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Sorry, the sun's on the wrong side of the camera here. The Conrail Museum is open every day, sunrise to sunset. The Conrail Historical Society is the ones in charge of this. So let's check it out here. Announcing Conrail, a better way to run a railroad.
After the railroads discovered the disadvantages of the streamlined type, several locomotive builders developed a new design, which became known as the road switcher type. Featuring a bi-directional design.
There we go.
To be used in almost any type
April 1st, 1976, Conrail inherited over 26,800 miles of track across 15 northeastern states and 2 Canadian provinces. Regulatory changes in the early 80s permitted the abandonment or sale of over 7,000 miles of unprofitable, duplicate, or inefficient routes. This is August 31st, 1978. System map with the first public promotion map released by the railroad showing Conrail at its fullest extent before the system was called into the following decade. So here we go.
Well, for example, who builds them? And are the road switcher types the only types still being used? And what about their safety? I heard that the government comes around and checks up on how well Conrail maintains them.
Wait a minute, one question at a time. Today, diesel locomotives are built by General Electric and the electromotive division of General Motors. Aside from their diesel engine, they are essentially similar in design. There is, however, a major difference in the diesel engine found in each type. All General Electric locomotives use an engine that requires 4 strokes to complete a power cycle. General Motors locomotives, however, use an engine that requires only 2 strokes to complete the same cycle. Although the road switcher is the dominant type of locomotive found on Conrail today, a smaller type
that's so cool.
card switcher is also used quite extensively. Built by General Motors, these low horsepower locomotives are equipped with operating cabs designed to provide the high degree of visibility needed
Let's see what
to
this
safely
is.
switch cars in a freight yard.
Control point Virginia Tower Board. This tower board was originally installed in Virginia Control Tower at Virginia Avenue in Washington, D.C. So that is an original control board.
Thanks a lot.
I recognize some of this stuff. I have that 10-year anniversary plaque myself. Would love to have that. Thanks for the memories. What's it called in there? Whatever that is. Conrail keychain. That's cool. Look at that. Operator's manuals for the GP38-2 and SW1500. Yeah, that's nice. And if you're wondering what that is, that's actually a TV playing in the background. So that's what you're hearing. A little bit more information on the X67 boxcar.
It is oranges from the rich soil of California. It is steel from Illinois. Vehicles from Michigan and Ohio. Breakfast cereal from the Niagara frontier. And golf clubs from Massachusetts. It is 36,000 employees and over 13,000 route miles serving America.
Hopefully I don't get dinged for that playing in the background when I make this video for copyright infringements. Hopefully I'll be okay.
Purchasing power in the world. It is the nationally and internationally.
That's so
in this
cool.
country's material distribution system. It is aggressive, imaginative,
Seeing that play.
and innovative. It is the cooperation of men and machines making the right moves. It is Conrail today.
Conrail today. That's an interesting sign.
Highly competitive transportation.
Tara.
If you want the business,
So let's read about that. This Tara sign.
service and ingenuity that gives you an edge.
And here you go. Tara block station and red yellow board to help control sections of the rail and avoid collisions on those sections of rail. Blocks were established so that dispatcher could give a train or work crew the ability to exclusively use that section. The vertical sign, the blue Tara sign, okay, lets employees know that the name of the block that they are entering for stopping. Terra, short for Swatera, the name of a nearby creek, was on a former Reading main line near Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. Today, the area is operated by Norfolk Southern and was renamed to Burke. So there you go.
Talks to Jay Gillen, Conrail's head of automotive
Serving all of the origin plants and all this.
Oh, man. I would like to have that pipe wrench. That's so cool.
Reactive. They're constantly bringing us new proposals for our attention.
So that O-gauge office car is from the K-Line 2001 First Quarter Safety Award. The models were not sold to the general public, instead handed out to employees for being injury-free.
Serves more of our manufacturing plants than any other railroad. They will be absolutely critical to any development of just-in-time manufacturing systems. We couldn't have such a program without Conrail's participation.
Now, you guys would probably recognize that I have the
Northeast.
K-Line, well actually it became Line L. But the K-Line was going to make the safety award set in 2005. However, K-Line was bought by Lionel, and Lionel actually made the set instead in 2005. I got the whole complete safety award set, Conway Yards, Conway, Pennsylvania.
The kind of premium service that helped Conrail increase its piggyback shipments of perishables into the Northeast.
That's a cool
by
sign.
600% since 1979.
Because of the dynamics of the produce business, which is understandably an ever-changing business with prices often rising and falling daily, we in turn need carriers that are able to respond quickly to those needs in terms of pricing and service.
Lauren Stern, Director of Transportation for Sunkist Growers, the nation's largest shipper of perishable goods.
In 1979, we moved perhaps 150 trailers via piggyback, 1/8 of 1% of our total tonnage moving to interstate destinations.
Zippo lighter with Conrail on it. That's so cool
The year
too.
just concluded, we moved approximately 10,000 trailers. It represented about 20% of our business, and the year that we are currently operating in, piggyback.
People of Conrail.
of our business. Conrail happens to handle about 2/3 of that tonnage. They have been very responsive when we call with any pricing or operational problem. And all, we're very satisfied with the level of service we've received from Conrail.
I actually had that book, and I had this one. Would love to have that lantern down there.
Conrail is the lifeline for the produce industry and many other industries in the eastern part of the country.
Dave Johnson, District Sales Manager for Sunkist in Boston.
We're professional in picking, packing, and selling.
On June 1st, 1999, Norfolk Southern CSX took over ownership of most of Conrail's territory, ending its independent existence after just 23 years. However, Conrail wasn't eliminated entirely, which is I've been trying to say to many people. Because they're like, yeah, Conrail's gone. No, it's not totally gone. And this backs up what I've been trying to tell them the whole entire time. Right, Walter Ryan of the Train Shop Weekly? It still exists today as a wholly owned subsidiary of Norfolk Southern and CSX, operating sections of integral trackage in New York, Newark, Philadelphia, and Detroit metropolitan regions that could not effectively be split between the two railroads. Without Conrail, there would have been a horrible chain supply shortage because the railroads on the East Coast were just failing. So today's Conrail is known as Conrail Shared Asset Operations. That's what they're talking about here. And so Conrail continued to provide an important connection for Western railroads well into the 1990s.
Conrail not only keeps pace with current advances, it participates in the most forward-looking developments in the...
While the X Plan was a 1990s strategy, its origin could be traced to the early 80s and the lines that Conrail inherited from its predecessors. This map is from Conrail's 1983 annual report. So initially, Conrail was losing over $300 million a year. Action was taken to improve the situation. Two acts of Congress, the Harley O. Staggers Rail Act, passed on October 14, 1980, and the Northeast Rail Service Act, passed on August 13, 1981, were instrumental in helping Conrail recover. The Staggers Act deregulated rail shipping rates, allowing Conrail to set its own rates to compete effectively with trucks. It also mandated the abandonment or sale of underperforming rail lines, allowing Conrail to eliminate parts of its system while retaining only profitable routes. The Northeast Rail Service Act mandated that all Conrail's money-losing commuter services would be transferred to individual state governments and transportation agencies no later than January 1st, 1983. And of course, we have some history on the creation of Conrail. On April 1st, 1976, Conrail took over the equipment and routes of 6 of the bankrupt railroads, totaling over 26,800 miles of track between Boston, New York, Buffalo, Chicago, St. Louis, and Washington, D.C. The goal was to consolidate these 6 railroads into a single profitable entity that could be sold back to private selector ownership. So the original intent was to take over these failing railroads, turn it into a profitable railroad, while ensuring that the supply chain wasn't going to be interrupted, and then resell it or hand it back over to the private sector. So it was never intended originally as, I know people miss Conrail, but it was never actually intended from get-go to be a long-term solution. So here we go. A new Wheels on Rails logo, dubbed a can opener by the public due to its uncanny resemblance, quickly became the symbol of the new company, along with the distinctive shade of blue. So that is one of the trivia questions that you are asked when you walk into Brady's Trains. He's going to ask you, what does the Conrail logo stand for? And the logo actually stands for Wheels on Rails and not can opener.
Comes to you and says, I have a problem, I know I didn't ship the car early enough, but can you do something for me?
Charles Allen, General Manager of Conrail Southern Tier Operation.
I have to check out these brochures. Oh man, look at that. That is cool.
even can also use for year after year, not just for individual car shipments.
In an account like this, though, the only way for a carrier to cover our account is
The Conrail Museum. In late 2019, the Conrail Historical Society inquired with CSX Transportation about the availability of an ex-Conrail A6-foot boxcar that could house the Society's growing collection of Conrail archive material and make it accessible to researchers and to the public. CSX graciously donated the former Conrail X67 class boxcar number 243880 to the Society as it was being retired from active service in January 2020. If you are interested in looking at the actual archives, it is open by appointment only, and there's the information there that you can you need to schedule an appointment by email. Here's a locomotive simulator. Oh, this is cool. I would like to have this in my basement. The simulator was owned by the Academy of Industrial Training, a training center in Essington, Pennsylvania, just southwest of Philadelphia, that trained railroad workers. The Academy trained all of Conrail's new hire train service, carmen, machinists, electricians in the 1990s with a 3-week course, and this simulator was built specifically to Conrail specifications to facilitate these classes. So that's cool. It utilized standard 1960s era American Association of Railroad style control stand from a locomotive constructed by EMD, which is a division of General Motors. So here we go. And here we are. There it is. It's so cool. I mean, it looks like it's open to where you can actually sit up in here. So why not? Let's take a look and see what it's like to be a railroad engineer. I actually have a friend who works for Conrail Shared Assets, so he could tell me more about running this thing than I would even begin to know about. Anybody who knows my background, I'm from the trucking world, so I can get into any truck and, drive it. Here, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. So, looks like we got a brake over here. I'm pretty sure that's the horn. We have a throttle, dynamic braking, forward, neutral, reverse. That's about as far as I could go. Looks like you got, seeing these might be lights here. So, yeah, I'm not a locomotive engineer, so unfortunately I can't help you out with most of this stuff other than, what's obvious. I'm not sure if any of this, oh yeah. Yep. So you got your throttle does work on this. So here I am at the simulator, the Conrail simulator. So this is really cool to be here and just to visit. Alright, so the Conrail Historical Society acquired a former Conrail N7E class caboose number 21165 in 2006, completely restored the car in 2014. The caboose operates at the Allentown and Auburn Railroad in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, where it was photographed on June 18th, 2016. Then down here we have, in 2019, the Conrail Historical Society partnered with the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Museum in Baltimore, Maryland to restore SW7 locomotive number 8905. It was unveiled on November 2nd, 2014 as the first operating locomotive restored to Conrail colors. So it looks like this is basically a self-guided tour, I'm assuming, because there's nobody here. And according to the sign that I just showed, you can see the actual archives by appointment by sending the Conrail Historical Society an email. But I was in the area anyway because I just attended a truck show yesterday. Decided to stay overnight and come here and check out the Conrail Museum since my O-gauge layout is all Conrail. So before I head over to the Penn Central boxcar, I'm going to walk this rail trail. Something that's caught my eye. There seems to be another freight car that's on this rail trail. For those who are not familiar what the term rail trail means, that means there was tracks here originally. They were ripped up, torn up, and then a trail for biking and walking was created in place of it. Okay, Cumberland Valley Railroad Museum B&O coal hopper. This Baltimore and Ohio Railroad coal hopper is a model W2A and is the only known survivor of a car that once dominated North America. This car was actually salvaged from a train wreck that occurred in the 1950s near Sykesville, Pennsylvania. Wow, that is something else. So here it is. We'll have to get on the sunny side of this thing. So we'll walk off the rail trail a little bit so we can get the... So this thing was actually involved in a train wreck. You can see it's bent and a little bit up there at the top corner. The friction bearing doors are missing or broke off of it. That's these right here, but you can actually take a look inside. There's supposed to be grease in there. I'm not sure now how many rail cars are on this rail trail. I probably should have researched that, but it's not like I got a bike. And I'm not going to walk the whole trail to see if there's other cars here. So let's go back to the Penn Central boxcar. Alright, so we're going to walk past the Conrail Museum we just visited. On this rail trail, there's sculptures that have been made and put in place. There's the Penn Central boxcar. It's right next to the Conrail Museum. Not sure if that's open 24/7 at the Conrail Museum, but we'll check it out. Another sculpture. I'll have to check out some information to see how long this rail trail is. You can see the whistle sign up ahead and a Pennsylvania railroad signal. And it does change on its own here, so let's read about this. Cumberland Valley Railroad Museum. It's a position light beginning in 1915. The Pennsylvania Railroad used position lights such as this one to control train movements. Very cool. The signal head on display was last used at the famous horseshoe curve near Altoona. It was donated by Norfolk Southern to the Conrail Historical Society. So there you go. So yeah, that's a real Pennsylvania Railroad position signal. And it looks like it changes the lighting position on its own automatically. Very cool. So here we have the Cumberland Valley Railroad Museum Penn Central boxcar. This is a model 857B boxcar and was built in 1956 by the New York Central Railroad to haul automobiles. It was painted and reconditioned in 1975 by the Penn Central Transportation. So this boxcar was originally built to haul all cars, basically, before they even made the auto rack. So cool. In 1978, this car was purchased by the domestic pump company and moved to a siding near Queen Street where it was used for storage. Following the company's bankruptcy and demolition of the site, the boxcar was saved from destruction by Randy Anderson and Greg of Hub Scrap Metals, who recognized its historical significance. Alright, so let's visit the Cumberland Valley Railroad Museum station. I'm wondering if this is always left open as well. Sunset to Shippensburg Station. There you go. So, yes. All right. So here we are inside the Penn Central boxcar. Looks like it gives you some history on Cumberland Valley. So we'll take a look down here. Pennsylvania Railroad. Very cool.
We had one of the first railroads in the country to come through this area, and it really opened the area up to more commerce, passenger service, tourism. It was really a way to get the Cumberland Valley up in a way that it has.
So here we go. Some great history on the Penn Central. A failed merger. Penn Central did not last long. It operated from 1968 until 1976, but due to financial issues, the company went bankrupt. Merging the Pennsylvania Railroad and New York Central created great internal and external complications, including competing corporate mindsets, power struggles among executives and workflows, and technical systems that failed to mesh. In order to save the rail line, on April 1st, 1976, the U.S. government-owned Consolidated Rail Corporation, known as Conrail, acquired Penn Central properties and operations. Also known as the biggest failure in business for U.S. history until the Enron Corporation in the 80s. Oh wow. Now this is some cool stuff in here. 3-year injury-free jacket, it looks like.
Some who care about the community, and some who care about the university. And this project has really been one that's allowed people to kind of see
Albany Division.
by the time we put the boxcar back together again
I like that book bag.
clearer vision of what we were going to do with this boxcar.
From abandoned boxcar to Railroad Museum. So this gives you a brief history. Days of Chambersburg moving the boxcar along Richard Avenue, Shippensburg. The boxcar at the old domestic casting site. The boxcar after being moved to its current location. Rail trail visitors watch the rehabilitation progress. Painter Ryan Flegel works through the night to finish applying stencils to the exterior. The Penn Central boxcar you are standing in is owned and maintained by the Conrail Valley Rails to Trails Council. A little entertainment for the kids, I guess. So this is interesting over here. The colored barcode system. So the Car Tract Act automatic car identification, the color barcode system used to automatically identify and track rail cars across the country. Technical problems in the late 70s led to its abandonment. However, the car track technology led to the development of modern barcode. Connecting the valley and beyond. Since laying of its first railroad track in 1837, the Conrail Valley Railroad connected thousands of people to places that would have taken days to travel. Conrail Reading Division, Rules of Operating Department.
Things have been moving really quickly here at Shippensburg Station. The boxcar, which 2 days ago was sitting there in all its kind of rusty glory, has been sanded down.
We used some dustless blasters and removed all the rust, mill scale, and the paint to get down to a bare surface and start fresh. We're using a rust epoxy. This product's meant for marginal surfaces that aren't right.
Journey through the Conrail Valley gives you a brief history. I'm not going to read through all that, but you guys come out here and visit this place if you're in the area.
I'm proud to be a part of this. Shippensburg's my hometown. The excitement to everyone involved. I don't know that I've been on a project everyone was so excited about.
They're giving you a history on the car, how they're painting it and stuff. That's so cool. I'm not sure if that's on YouTube, but if it is, check them out. I'll try not to get too much of that footage into my video because if it is on YouTube, I don't want to get dinged for copyrights. Now, on the way walking down the rail trail, I had somebody stop me and ask me if I was with the Conrail Historical Society. For obvious reasons, I'm wearing a Conrail shirt, but no, I am not. So I just asked him out of curiosity, how many miles is this rail trail? And he said they only walked a few miles, but the One sign they looked at said 9.5 miles, so he said the rail trail is about 12 miles long and it actually takes you all the way from here, Shippensburg, all the way into Carlisle and then to Newfield or Newville, something like that. So as far as he knows, this rail trail is about 12 miles long, which is why I see people riding their bikes. And here we have, I'll show you the Shippensburg station right here. So here's Shippensburg station. Closer look at the Pennsylvania railroad light here. So I grabbed this Cumberland Valley Rail Trail brochure, and pretty much from what he said, it looks like the main line is actually 13 miles. So 2 miles it takes you to Greason Road, 1 mile Allen Road, Carlisle 1.6 miles. And so it gives you an idea of how long this thing is. So the black line represents private property. So once again, I was already at a truck show, which was about a couple hours from here. So I decided, you know what, I'm already, because I'm 4 hours from this place. But since I was already at the truck show, I decided, hey, why not? Why not visit the Conrail Museum, since I'm a, you know, I like Conrail so much. So if you're in the Shippensburg area, yeah, stop on in and pay a visit to these two wonderful cars. Bring a bike with you, or if you want to go for a walk, you got that option here too. Very cool visit. So before I get home, we'll take one last look at the two cars. I gotta tell you, they did a good job painting this car. I mean, it does look like Penn Central repainted this for them. I gotta hand it to them. Then over here, the Conrail 86-foot high cube boxcar. But anyway, it's time for the long journey home. So let's get back to the Dakman Productions studios, because I have something to show you guys. And I'm back from the visit to the Conrail Museum in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. For those who are new to my channel, welcome to my Conrail O-Gauge high rail layout here in my basement. So I call my Conrail high rail layout Conrail Rail. It's all dedicated to the Conrail time period. This is a build that I started in 2015. And I'll show, for the new viewers, I'll show a little bit of that. And also, I said I wanted to show you guys something else. My current viewers, I want to show you guys something else. But before I do, I want to show you one other thing. So if you're into O-Gauge, Lionel did make this O-Gauge Penn Central double door boxcar. Yeah, the color is a little bit off. The Lionel color. Sort of par for the course for Lionel, sorry. But sometimes they do get the color wrong. But still a cool piece to have. They did offer a Penn Central double door boxcar, so I have that in my collection. Also in my collection is this Conrail 86-foot high cube boxcar set. It's a 2-car set. You'll notice that one car has the small logo, the can opener logo, and the other car has the larger Conrail can opener logo. Again, this is a 2-car set. So far, Lionel has made 3 different ones, a 2-car set and 1 add-on. They also made 2 Penn Central cars. One's an 8-door and one's a 4-door. So if you're into Lionel O-Gauge, they have made these in the past. Okay, so we'll take a look at my layout just a little bit for those who are new. I won't get too in depth for that because I already did plenty enough videos featuring the layout. And then we'll check out what I really wanted to show my current viewers. So let's go. Alright, so this is a little slice of Conrail in my basement in O-Gauge form for those who are new. So I started this build in 2015 and I ended up painting the base blue with white trim to resemble the Conrail Times. And then we have some Conrail signs here. That is a real Enola diesel terminal I love Conrail sign that somebody had donated to me. Right down there. You can see I have 3 SD80 Macs and an SD70 Mac on my shelf here. Some more Conrail locomotives. And there's just Conrail stuff I have everywhere. Conrail fans welcome. All others not allowed. Some more Conrail locomotives. So if you guys remembered, I pointed out a Conrail Employees Award train that they had there. So here it is. That's the locomotive for it. And these are the 3 cars that goes with it. There you go. So that's part of the Conrail Safety Award. As I mentioned, originally it's all K-line tooling, but Lionel had bought K-line before they made the set. So Lionel went ahead and still made the Conrail Safety set using K-line tooling. I recently added the K-line police caboose to guard the intermodal train. And I added 2 cars to it. So, it's a very cool set. Now, this is not the whole entire layout. A lot of people think it is, but no, it is not. It continues on into another room. There's tunnels and stuff. And it actually continues on into the next room here. I have a Conrail GP30 and GP35 as switcher locomotives. And so there you go. So this is what I wanted to show my current viewers. So I have my own Conrail collection that I started. I just got hooked on, Conrail memorabilia and a couple things donated, which got me started. And then I found a whole bunch of things that were like dirt cheap in lots that I just couldn't turn down. And some of the stuff you'll see was featured in a museum. So But anyway, so you have this Conrail rules for conducting transportation, Conrail Philadelphia Division timetable, Conrail signal aspect chart, Conrail book that explains all those signals, Conrail freight schedules. Now this was in the museum, this Conrail hazmat material regulation book. We have a Pittsburgh Division Conway yard book, safety rule book, operating manuals. There's a good one and one that's not in such good shape, but I went ahead and bought the whole lot anyway. Manual for preparation of accident incident reports. I believe what I bought was probably had to be an executive office. Because in here, there's actually nice professional pictures that would have been hung up in the office, I'm assuming. They're not, these are actual professional pictures. They're not from a calendar. These are actual photos. And then you have Conrail Power and Color, that book that I bought real cheap at a train show. Conrail Labor Management Project. Cups here. That's the Lionel Conrail Trail Van. That's actually been in the family for many years, so that was handed down to me by my dad, and his dad gave it to him. I believe it was part of the Pennsylvania Reading Seashore Lines. So here we have a Continuous Improvement Conrail Award, which would have been on somebody's desk. So that's why I'm assuming that some of the stuff is executive office stuff. You have Christmas ornament. Then you have this Conrail Conductor's Badge that's real because I got this off of Kevin Quinn. And Conrail really did have passenger service, which I covered in another video. That's a 1998 Conrail E.H. Harriman Memorial Award for safety. Got some hats. And here is a Conrail map. I forget what year this is from. The 10-year Conrail anniversary, which was also featured in the museum. Got my own Conrail keychain. A lot of this is official, from the official days of Conrail, this memorabilia. Got Operation Lifesaver Conrail here. And yes, Conrail really did do an Operation Lifesaver one year. Ruler. Dad takes time to work safely. The Conrail's Conway Yard Visitor's Guide. Conrail Trainman Agreement. Instructions for supervisors in connection with handling of discipline. That's why I'm thinking that this last collection had to have been a executive office one. And a little pamphlet to explain railroad crossings. So there's my little collection of Conrail memorabilia that I started. I have a table dedicated to it, as you see. And if anything was to happen to me, I wouldn't want any of this stuff thrown away. I would like all of it donated to the Conrail Historical Society. In the event that something happens to me, because I would like to see all this preserved. But for now, as long as I'm living, I'm going to enjoy this myself, along with my Conrail O-gauge layout. And thank you for watching another Dakman Productions video. Goodbye.